name's James. I'm the CEO/founder of Esports Scotland. Well, as the CEO of Esports Scotland, it's my job to look to the future and the direction of the company. On day to day, I talk to the teams to make sure that current projects we've got are on time, talk to the team managers that we've got heads of content, we've got tournament managers, we've got our planning guys, we've got marketing, we've got other business development guys we work with. So, I think it's very key for me to keep on top of all these things that we're doing. And once again, looking to the future all the time. How I got into this role, well, I founded Esports Scotland in 2017. I've been an avid gamer all my life and an avid sports fan all my life. I originally started a Facebook page called Esports Scotland when the Xbox One came out, and that was something just to kind of keep my geek on and once again just to keep in touch with what was going on and happening. That grew to about 1,000+ members, and it was a lot of fun. Esports was starting to get really quite big, and being a sports fan myself and a gamer, it was the next perfect love for me, watching people compete at a high level in games that I enjoyed. So one day I just had the idea, Esports Scotland. So I created my Facebook page, off we went. Went around the country, met a lot of people who had little small scenes in Scotland, so gaming, fighting games and CSGO tournaments, and what I found out quite quickly is nobody really knew who was doing what, even within 10 miles radius. So I thought, let's create the page and we can start to share what everybody's doing to try and grow the scene. One thing led to another, and before we knew it, we had the Scottish Esports League. Since then, we've run 5 Scottish Esports Leagues. We've won silver medals for esports at the Commonwealth Games. We've done lots of B2B work, worked with brands such as Iron Brew, Lenovo, Curry's, and I've kind of fell into the role of kind of leading Esports Scotland, but it's definitely not just myself, there's a lot of other people that work on this. When I finished high school, my dad was an electrician and he wanted to get me into the dockyard, and he tried to get me to do a test, and it was a maths test and I was terrible at maths and I failed the test. I didn't get into the dockyard. So his next plan was for me to be a mechanic. So my first job was a lorry mechanic at Volvo Truck and Bus up in Perth, and I hated it. It was just lorries, they were just ugly, they were just cold, it was just, I just absolutely hated doing that. So once again, they kind of said, well, what do you want to do? So I done a computing course up at Perth College, and that was fine. And years went past, and I went up to Aberdeen, done an HND, TV Ops and Productions, that was great. Won some awards, created some films, which was fantastic. Came back down to the Central Belt. My father had passed away, and I thought, tried to get into a job at the BBC, tried to get a job at ITV, couldn't get any. London was kind of calling for me, but I didn't really want to uproot and leave at the time. So I got a job in a call centre, and once again, I remember one time looking around myself and thought to myself, what am I doing here? I think I've got so much more ambition and things I want to do, and here I am helping people with their broadband on the phones. So I googled TV production companies in Fife. I found a company called Glass Bullet, and I emailed them and I said, look, I don't want paid, I just want to come work for you at the weekends and just get involved. So off I went, I met the guy, we made some films, I got my first camera by doing some country and western music videos, which was great, and then off I went, and that was me, background video production, and then met my partner, and the rest is history. It was just something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to do what I've always wanted to do, if that makes sense. So I've always enjoyed things I enjoy, once again, if that makes sense. I've done a lot of jobs in my life that I didn't enjoy. I didn't get really much enjoyment out of it, but gaming has been a constant in my life, and I think when I look back to all the jobs I previously had, they have all, in one way, gave me some experience for where I am today. So all I'd say to anybody that's certainly watching this is just do what you want to do, and you'll never really work a day in your life. But it doesn't mean don't do anything, but at the same time try and find your passion. And I don't know what age you are that people are watching this, but you might not know it yet. Don't worry about it, just keep on enjoying doing what you're doing. You don't put too much pressure on trying to plan your life out right away. As long as you do the right things and you enjoy what you're doing, I'm sure you'll be fine. Yeah, my favourite game is Halo. I think I've always loved Halo. It was one of the first big competitive games that we ever played. Played a lot of Halo 1, played a lot of Halo 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, and like the new one, Halo Infinite. I know it's had a lot of hard press, but I'll still try and play that as much as I can. So I think multiplayer is a big key for me, and playing against people is key. I think I do like some story-driven games, but I'm not going to lie, I do end up skipping half the cutscenes because I do like the kind of multiplayer and action part. So Microsoft tools, I use them all. I think I've got Microsoft to-do lists, so anytime that I'm in a Microsoft Teams call and we're maybe talking in a meeting and there's action points that need to get made, then what I'll do is I'll take a note of them down and I'll put the action point on, I'll put a reminder for when they need to be completed by, which is great. We've also got Microsoft OneNote that I use a lot because I'll never stop thinking about Esports Scotland ultimately, and sometimes I can be sitting thinking, maybe doing the dishes, and I think I have an idea, I'll quickly put it into the OneNote. So OneNote for notes, Microsoft to-do list for key action points, Microsoft Teams for my calendar to make sure that I'm places on time, that the meetings are scheduled, which is fine. We've got Outlook that we use obviously for my email, Microsoft Excel that we use. Just even today we're doing a press release and we kind of looked at our kind of contacts that we've got in Excel to kind of go out to the media through that, obviously for budgeting, for projections. Absolutely everything to do with Microsoft, to be honest with you, that we use. Trying to think, PowerPoint, what else would there be? Yeah, it's probably a lot more apps I would use, but yeah, they're the ones that I would use day to day. I've never made a game myself. I've got some opportunities now through some Scottish games developers to actually come up and get some visits to their studio, and I've told them I'd love to get involved in some of the brainstorming that goes on. I'm quite fortunate to have spoke to people now at Ubisoft, Riot, Epic before, the people that actually work there, and just through talking to them I've told them what I'd like to see in their games coming up. But I've never had the opportunity to make a game, but I certainly would.
Okay, so now that we are back in the office, let's jump in and create our very first game. Thank you so much for James for talking during the interview part of today's session. It really is so interesting to hear all about Esports Scotland. Let's get started and create our own game, which maybe in the future might lead to a role in esports. So I'll see you up on the big screen in 2 seconds. Okay, so here we are on MakeCode Arcade. If you've never been to Microsoft MakeCode, there's some fantastic some fantastic games here on Microsoft MakeCode Arcade, which will teach you how to code using block coding. It will also teach you how to create your very own games and understand how your games work. So we're going to be using MakeCode Arcade today to create our very own game. Now, to find MakeCode Arcade, all you need to do is go into search and search for MakeCode Arcade. That's up at the top there. And you'll notice that there are loads and loads of different games for you to create. You do not need to log in, but you can if you like. So once you're finished, you can just share the link with others to play. Okay, if your school has access to things like Meowbits, then you can export these games and share them to these different kind of tools. It's kind of like a Game Boy, really. You don't need to, you can just use your device to play. So if you don't have a device yet, pause this video and please do go and get one. You can work as a team, you can work on your own, it's absolutely up to you. Okay, we're going to scroll down here and we're going to find the game called Monster Truck Racer, and this is what we're going to be creating today. We're going to be building our very own game that's based on a monster truck side-scroller game. So I'm going to click once on Monster Truck Racer and it's going to take me here to this site. So you can see we've got our progression here. So you've got your initial kind of building up all your sprites. Then once you're going to do that, you're going to be, you can see it on the top right hand corner, how to jump and how to survive really with your monster truck. Then you've got your completion certificate, that's you finished. And then lastly, you can go further and you can add in extras to your game. Okay, so we're going to start off today with Ready, Set, Go for Monster Racer. Code along with me, join me live, and we'll do this all together. Feel free to pause the video if you need to. And I will give you time at the end to play with your game as well. So please do. We're all going to hit on this first one here. It's called Monster Racer Ready, Set, Go. I'm going to hit, for you it's going to say start. For me it says restart because I've already done it. So I'm going to hit restart here. Okay, so let's make a racer game. In this tutorial, you'll add in a truck to your game and make it move through a cave. Okay, so on the left-hand side, we have everything that we need to know for creating our own game. If you've never used Make Code Arcade, on the left-hand side here, you're going to notice that you have everything, all your instructions. You're going to have your immersive reader up at the top here. So if you do need anything read out to you, it will read everything out to you. You can also translate all of the questions as well. So I've translated this one into Polish here, and you can jump between English and Polish. Lastly, if you need the picture dictionary as well, then if I head back to original and I click on any of these words, it's going to give us an image for each of these words. So if you need to use the immersive reader, please do go for it. Lastly, there's a couple of things you can do as well. I'm not sure where my video is on the left here, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Let's just go like this. Okay, and maybe once more. Okay, so you'll see that there is a light bulb here. So if you do get stuck at any time, then I can't move it, unfortunately, so everybody's stuck behind my video. It does show you the code. So if you ever get stuck, click on the light bulb and it will show you exactly what you need to do. Here in the toolbox is everything that you're going to need for today's session. I'm just going to zoom back in again for you. Okay, so this has everything that you're going to need to do. So we've got our sprites, our scenes, our variables, and it's like a cut down version. So it's going to get rid of all the stuff that we don't need. It's just going to give you the stuff that we do need. So this is a great place to start learning. You have here, this is like an endless screen, so you can move around your blocks, and this is the code that's going to make the game run. And on the bottom right hand corner, this is the game. Okay, so we have, it kind of looks like a Game Boy, and from here we can play the game once we have a bit of, once we've put in a bit of code and built the game. Lastly, you can zoom in and out on the actual blocks by clicking on the plus and minus down in the bottom right hand corner. Okay, so the first instruction, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. So before we add the truck, we need to create a sprite. So what is a sprite? In Arcade, each character or image that does something is called a sprite. So your character is called a sprite. Sprites have properties that you can use and change. Things like scale, position, and lifespan are all properties of sprites. Our truck will be our sprite. Okay, so from the sprites category, this one here, sprites, the blue one, you'll notice it's blue here. So when you click on sprites, it opens up. Drag set truck to sprite to the end of the empty on start. Now, you'll notice here that this block, so this is our code, has like a puzzle piece in there. So this is great to know because we know that if it has a puzzle piece, it has to go within the other pieces here. Our on start, this is our parent block, doesn't have any puzzle pieces on the outside, so we know that this must be the start and end of our code, okay? So it just tells us to set the truck and drag it into on start. Let's hit next. To choose a truck, click on the empty box, that's this one here, okay, this grey one, and head to My Assets to choose a truck. So you can go to Gallery, you can choose maybe a duck instead of the truck, but we're going to go to My Assets and it gives us a couple of trucks to use from. So you can choose any of these. I'm going to go for the one with horns and teeth. I think that looks really cool. And lastly, you can change it. You can change the colours. So if you want it to be, let's say a blue truck, or let's go for a pink one. I don't think there's any pink in here. Then you can actually click and you can sit and draw your truck. Okay, so let's just give ours a pink. Let's change ours to pink. Okay, so this will take me just 2 seconds. I'm going to increase my block color. There we go. Size. A wee bit easier here. Decrease it again. So let's just color in our trucks. You can color it in any way that you like. Nearly there. Okay, so there we go. I now have my pink truck. I think it had gums here, didn't it? So let's just add in a couple of gums for our truck. Okay, so let's hit done now. Okay, so there's our truck there. Perfect, so let's hit next. Take a look at the game window down in the bottom right hand corner. Do you see the truck hovering in the cave? Yeah, we do. And we can zoom in. There is our truck. We can't do anything with it yet. Does nothing if I use the keys. If I move the joystick, does nothing because we need to add in that code. So let's hit next. How do I add gravity? So for gravity, we'll need acceleration to pull down on the sprite. You know how the force due to gravity pulls us down? This is done by setting the sprite's AY acceleration in the direction of Y. So the Y is the up and down. Okay, so let's close that down again. So from the sprites category up here, click and drag set truck to 500 to the end of the start container. Okay, so here we are. So we pull that sprites, the blue one there, to the end of on start. Okay, so yours should look something like this. Look at the game window. Did the truck fall to the ground? It does. Let's hit restart. If we hit the wee, it's like looks like this, the rotating arrows, you should see that it falls down to the ground. Fantastic. Okay, let's hit next. In your game, your truck needs to start rolling as soon as it starts. How do I make it move? Well, to make the truck move to the right, we need to set it as Vx, velocity in the direction of x. X is the horizontal, y is the vertical, to a position number. So from sprites, okay, sprites, drag set truck Vx to 100. Okay, so there we go. So now it starts to drive to the right. Okay, so if I hit restart, it falls down and drives to the right. Perfect. Look at the game window again and watch your truck mosey. Okay. Did you notice the truck drives off the screen? Let's make the game camera follow the sprite. So we've only got 2 more steps to go. To keep the truck in sight, go to scene, here's scene, and drag camera follows sprite to the end of the start container. Okay. So now, look at what you've done. Your truck should start rolling as soon as the game loads and keep going until it gets to the end of the first pit. When you're ready, click done to head back to the skill map and keep going to find out how to control your truck with arrows and buttons. Okay, so let's hit done. So here's our game now, we're ready to join part 2, so let's do that. Okay, so over and under. Okay, now that you have a truck that moves, let's add the ability to jump and navigate around obstacles. Okay, so this is the code that we've already built. Here we have our code already. Let's hit next. See the pits of acid? Ooh, in the road. So from controller, drag on A, okay, to an empty area. So I'm just going to zoom out a wee bit now. So you'll notice that this jigsaw puzzle piece, this block, doesn't have jigsaw pieces at the top or bottom of it, so it needs its own space. Okay, so I'm just going to pull these ones out to the side there. Okay, so when we press the A button, set truck velocity to -200. So when we click A, it jumps. Okay, let's put that in full screen. If I click A, it jumps. Okay, it doesn't matter what I hit yet because we've not got any collision. Okay, so I can hit A. Okay, right, let's hit next. Remember to keep looking back at the game window to see how each bit of code changes. We've done that already. Okay, from scene, so we're going up to scene now, the blue one, and drag on sprite of kind player overlaps, okay? And we're just going to put that in empty space, so I'm just going to zoom out again. Okay, let's move all that up. Okay, and so you'll have noticed that we now have game over, okay? Click the empty tile image and change this to an acid tile. So click on the empty tile, oh, okay, here, and we need to select acid, so this one here. So if I kind of zoom in there, so this one becomes acid, okay? Zoom back out again. Fantastic. Follow the same steps to end the game when your sprite overlaps with spikes. Okay, so we go to scene when sprite overlaps with spikes coming down the way, it's lost as well. It's a game loser as well. Okay, fantastic. Now look at the game in the window. So here we have our game. If we touch anything, then we're going to lose. Okay, so we need to jump over the acid. We need to make sure that we don't hit the spikes like we did there. Game over. Okay? I'm just going to turn down my volume a wee bit. We've only got 2 more steps to go. We need to have a way to lose. Now, sorry, we need to have a way to win. We can already lose. So follow the same steps to end the game when your sprite overlaps the empty cave tile as you did with the acid tile. This time, make sure the switch inside the game over block is set to win. So follow the same steps as to the end of the game when the sprite overlaps an empty cave tile. So scene, pull this one in, and if it's an empty cave tile, this one here I believe, then it should be set to win. We need the help, so I'm just going to click, oh, black one, is it black? That one, okay, so it's just the black one there. So let's try this now, full screen. Let's hit A to jump, make sure we don't touch anything. Okay, don't hit the spikes. Don't hit the acid. And we should soon, hit the acid. Okay, when we get to a black one, it should say win, okay? If you need help, you can click on the light bulb, remember, okay? And then we can hit next. Play your game. Can you make it all the way to the end and win? Well, let's give it a try. Let's go into full screen mode and let's give it a try. So we press A to jump. Okay. Let's see if we can get all the way to the end. Ooh, this is hard. Let's keep going. There's the acid. I can't get past that acid block. Click drone. Oh, sorry, hit done. Done. To head back to the skill map to keep going to add fun customizations to your game. I'm going to go back one. Can I just double check this? So, follow the same steps to add overlaps in empty cave tile as you did for the acid tile. Yeah, we've got it right. Okay, so that's fine then. So that is right. We've got it right. So let's head back. We can now claim our reward. We've completed our very first game. We created our first game. So let's claim our reward. There we go. You received the monster truck badge. You can, it'll be under your user profile. So if you have logged in, it will be under there. If not, then we get our certificate as well. So when you open up your certificate, you can download this, you can export it. There we go, we've got save up at the top. You can add in your own name in there. So you get your own racer certificate as well. I'm just gonna press the X there. And lastly, you can go in and you can add in a little bit extra to your game, or you can click play game, and this is now your chance to go and play your game. So feel free to share it with anybody that you like, and remember you can hit play, so this allows us now to play the game. So if I hit A, I can jump over all those blocks. If you want to share it with anybody, up in the top right hand corner you've got your share game, so I'm just going to show you here. Click on the little, it's like 3 dots connected by lines, hit share, then we go update thumbnail. You can either record a thumbnail, so it makes a little GIF of you playing the game, okay? Or you can add a screenshot as well. So there's our new thumbnail of us playing the game. I'm gonna hit apply, change the game name to Monster Truck game, hit share project, and from there we can now got a code that we can, a URL that we can share directly into our Microsoft Teams, save it into, maybe you've got a OneNote that has all of the games you've created, save it into a place like a Word document that you share with other people, maybe with your teacher, share it to your friends and family, and then everybody can share and they can all play the game together with you. Okay, so that is our game that we have created. Then the last things you can do, if you do have things like a Meowbit, you can download it directly to any of these kind of game pads here that are listed. So if you do have access to any of these, you can do. If not, you can just play the online game version, and that is absolutely fine as well. Okay, we're gonna head back to the main screen now. In fact, no, you're gonna have 5 minutes just to play your game. Maybe you want to change anything here. So maybe if you do hit acid, then you win. Maybe you can change it if you hit spikes, you win. It's up to you what you do. So play around with some of the code in here. Maybe you can add something new in there. So I'm gonna give you, will we say 5 minutes to play your game and to share that out with others. Okay, good luck. I'll see you soon. Okay, so we're going to up level our game now. So the last thing I would like everybody to do is head back to the main page on Make Code Arcade and scroll down. You're going to notice your game in there, but that's not the one we're going to click on. We're going to click on Monster Truck Racer. Okay, so we're going to head back to the kind of initial opening page for this. And then we're going to click on the last option there, and we're going to just hit, for you it's going to say start, for me it says restart, because I've already been in there. Okay, so we're going to just up level our game now. So this tutorial will help you to customize your Monster Racer game to make it even more special. Hopefully somebody realized that you can double jump in the game. That was something that it's still playing there. This is something that I forgot to mention in the last one, so you can double jump in this game. Now, what's great is down at the bottom left hand side, now you can't see it because of my camera, but down on the bottom left you do have the ability to hit replace code. I'm just going to hit stop on the game player there because it's just going to keep making noise. You can hit replace code, so if you did have anything that was going wrong with your game, hit replace code and it's going to stick that code in for you should you need it. Okay, so I'm going to hit next. Now let's add a block to animate your truck. Okay, so click on the advanced label, so down here, and we're going to click on animation, and then lastly we're going to drag the animate truck block to the end of the on start container, so in here. Okay, so let's pull this one up, let's just give it a wee bit more space. Okay, now let's hit next. Let's put camera follow spray buffer. Okay, click on the empty animation image to choose a truck animation from My Assets. So we're going to click on, here it is, the grey square. We're going to click on there, My Assets, and I'm going to choose the monster truck that has the horns. Okay, so we're going to click on there, animated. Now you can go in and again you can paint all these if you like, it's up to you what you do. I'm just going to hit done. Okay, next. Remember to keep looking back to the game window, so down in the corner. I'm going to turn off the sound so we can see what it looks like. And now you'll notice that if I go full screen, the truck, instead of just staying still and going through the road as without moving, now what happens is it moves up and down. So we've got a little bit of an animation in there. Okay, you can go back and you can adjust your animation, so you can play around with how it looks, maybe increase the height that animates. You'll see it goes from top that it starts, and then it goes down. Okay, so you'll see that's the kind of space it makes. So you've got the three here that you can play around with. Okay, so we've adjusted the frames, great. Can you see the effects of the code you just wrote? Yeah, we can. Let's hit next. Let's add some sound effects each time that you jump. So from music, the purple pinky one here, click play knock in background, play knock in background, and drag it to the beginning of the on A button. Okay, there we go. Perfect, so in here, on A button press. So when we press the A button, it makes that noise. Okay, let's turn off my sound again there. Okay, try the game. Do you hear the sound each time you jump? So try that now. Can you hear the knocking sound? Okay, go back to the music category and look for some of the other blocks. Which one would you like to choose to add as background music to your game? So I would say for background music, you can play this one. So whatever sound this one is. So let's hit the here. Let's hit A to play. So it will only play that short sound though, so I'm going to remove that. I'm going to stick this back in. Let's delete this by just clicking delete on our keyboard, and I'm going to select that first one, play song. Let's try this one. Now song, we can actually write our own music in here, so you can compose your own music, or you can go to My Assets. Oh, we've not got anything in there. So let's just add our own music in here. Okay, so we can add in more measures if we want to. We can make it even longer. Okay, and now when I hit play, okay, and it's going to just repeat for us. We can change the tempo, you can make it fast. Okay, and you can lastly change the instrument that's played as well. So you can put your ducks in there as well. So let's add in this is our music. Okay, so now when I hit play, okay, so that is our song. I'm going to hit done. So now until the game is finished, let's place at the beginning of the game, add it to the start container. Okay, perfect, so until done. That's great, so it's just going to keep playing that song. So now when we go into full screen mode, it's just going to keep playing when it loads up. Come on, internet. There we go, it's just going to keep playing for us, okay? Oh, I can't hear that song. Let's try it. On start. Maybe I didn't hit start, that's maybe why. There we go. Oh. There we go. So because I put this in here at the start, it plays the song before the truck is in there. So what I need to do is pull the play song and move it to the bottom of my on start container. So we'll put it in here. Now when we go to hit start, now it's just going to keep playing. There we go. Perfect. Okay, fantastic. So let's go looping in background, and now, there we go. It's just going to keep playing. Nice bit of background music in there for us. Let's hit stop, because it's quite noisy now. Okay, perfect. So once you've added all the sound effects, play your game. Can you make it all the way to the end? Let's hit done, and now we can, we've got our game. I'll keep playing. Let's play our game. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to, I'm gonna mute this. There we go. So to play your game, you can go to view code, and from there, let's hit on the play button, make it full screen, and let's play our game. So you can play it with the music. I've muted my, okay. You can play with the music, you can play your game, share it out with people. You know we've used the share tool previously, so share your game out, share your creations with everybody, ping it on Teams. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do that now. So we've added music, go for it. Okay everybody, that's us finished. Thank you so much to everybody for joining us today. Thank you to James, who has inspired us to create our very own video games based on his interview and chatting about all the amazing work that he does at Esports Scotland. So thank you very much, James, for that. We really do appreciate your time and taking the time to join us and to inspire us to create our very own monster truck game. If you're a teacher, please do tag us in any tweets at TA Scotland or at Niall Ridgway, that's myself. I would love to see all of your game creations, and if you share the link to your games, I'm more than happy to play them as well. I will see you all again for our next session. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a great time, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers, bye.